Hi again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of First Person, sponsored by the Ruin Camp Farm Drainage Company in Fort Loramie. 80 years of experience for farm, residential, and commercial. If you got wet ground, they can make water work for you. Call Phil Barhorst in Fort Loramie. Again, Ruin Camp's Farm Drainage Company. You probably know Phil Barhorst.
Yep.
Pretty well. We're in Versailles this week with the head coach of the Tigers. That would be Adam Miller in his second year here with the Orange and Black guys, the Tigers. And first of all, thanks for the time. It's fun to be here. It's always great to be in whole field because this place is not only venerable but beautiful, and we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But Adam, I want you to characterize a little bit about your first year as head coach of this program, because it is a special place to coach.
It is. It's a very special place to coach. You got a great tradition, a lot of high expectations, which are good. It keeps us on our toes and you know, make sure we're striving for the goals that we set at the beginning of the season. You know, last year there was, you try to prepare as much as you can, but there's always some learning curve. It's unavoidable. But I feel like we did learn a lot of things. You know, we personnel-wise, coaching staff-wise, you know, X's and O's. We feel like we learned a lot of things across the board, and I think that stuff that we learned will transition into the second year.
I'm sure you learned this too, that there's not a lot of sympathy among Tim Goodwin and Chip Otten and Todd Schulte for first-year coaches.
No, it's I mean, it was a battle every single week, and you know, I think our first 5 games were very tough, and that's what we're going to see this year as well. But you're kind of thrown right into the fire, and you just got to make the best of it and go.
You come into the 2013 season, and we've talked to a number of coaches already in the MAC this year, and almost every one of them characterized Versailles as a team that's, well, I'll tell you, they say you got to respect their skill position players. They're a nightmare to match up against. Their skill guys are as good as it gets in the league this year, but I'm going to give you an opportunity to talk about your football team in that respect too. You do have a lot of guys back, starting with Nick Campbell at quarterback, guys that can make plays for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Our strength is definitely our skill players. We're, you know, I think we've got a solid line offensively and defensively, but they just don't have the experience that we have in the skill players. Mm-hmm. And you know, starting with Nick, this will be his 3rd year as a starting quarterback. He is definitely the captain of the team. He leads us well, you know, off the field, on the field. You know, we put a lot of trust in Nick's hands as far as, you know, calling audibles and that type of stuff. And you know, he's a playmaker, so we try to get him the ball as much as we can. And we also got Damian Richard as another playmaker. You know, he's big, he's tall, he can go up and get the ball. You know, great in space, so he's another person you just try to get the ball as much as possible. Yeah,
he competes.
Well, if you saw our basketball team at all, every single one of those guys, you know, played football. So they were, you know, all the athletes we had in basketball are pretty much out here playing football, you know, making plays as well.
Adam Miller, the coach of the Versailles Tigers, our guest this week on First Person. And Adam, I want to go back and reference to something you mentioned a moment ago about the great tradition of Versailles football, and people here know their football. They like their football. They like that fact of those 6 titles under Hal Hetrick going back into the 90s. And they like the way they got those titles, and that was running the football. I know when Bob Olwin was here, he had some success of spreading the field, putting the ball in the air, and letting kids make plays, and more athletic in that respect. But you've gone back to a more balanced style of play, and I know that's popular with people here because you're running the ball more and you're having success with it.
Yeah, you know, last year I felt we did a good job getting the running game established, but we also, you know, realized where our playmakers are, and you know, one's a quarterback and we got a few at receiver, so we try to keep it balanced. We try to, you know, run the ball when it's given to us and pass the ball when it's available. We really just look to see what the defense is giving us and try to go from there.
Defensively, you're going to have to make some plays this year too, because I don't have to tell you, you've got Adam Burke, you've got Brody Hoying, you've got some high-powered offenses in this league that you're going to have to go out and make some plays against as well.
Yeah, I thought last year in the league there was a lot of phenomenal athletes out there, and it seems like it just reloaded again this year. So, you know, defensively we're more experienced than we are offensively, you know, as far as returning starters. But it's another year under our belt. Last year was a little bit of a transition year as far as the kids have never played zone coverage before. So it took a few weeks to get used to that. Now we're a little more diversified with things, and I think we'll have a solid defense.
A lot of people would look at this job here at Versailles and say it's a dream job. I want you to talk about how much fun you're having coaching the Tigers.
It is my dream job. I grew up playing in this league in the MAC, and I honestly think it's one of the best leagues in the state of Ohio, and then to be able to coach in it it's a dream. It's amazing. I don't know any other place I'd rather be.
Obviously, you got great players, you got great expectations, and you got a great facility here, and I'd be remiss in not giving some credit here, as you can hear in the background, doing construction on venerable whole field. And I know this is a labor of love to a lot of guys in this community that help take care of this. Tom Donnelly, for one, Poling. Give me some names here.
Mike Poling.
Mike Poling and
Louis
Frank.
Kramer does a lot. Frank Treon does a lot. We could probably sit here for a while and rattle.
I don't want to leave anybody
names.
out, but I'm telling you, look at this place, a beautiful playing field, new bleachers, new lights. Everything here is, well, a new field house. Hedrick Fieldhouse has been here several years now. This is about as good as it gets in terms of Ohio high school football and for what this represents.
It is. We've had visiting teams come in, and the first thing they look at is our grass, and it's like a fairway out here. And Eric Knopp comes out and takes care of it. He takes care of the golf course as well, so he does a great job out here. Every Wednesday we got a group of guys that come out and paint the field. It looks perfect, and I think it's just a lot of local pride. They're up there on the stands Friday night. They want to look down on the field and say we have some of the best facilities around. And it's the amazing thing is how many people show up to help with things, and also the speed at which they get things done. I mean, the bleachers went up last week, and the press box is nearly done. We're about 8 days out from that, and they're here every night working till sun goes down and getting up the next morning, going to their job, and repeating the same process.
It all goes together to make what they call Tiger Ball here. They're very proud of it, justifiably. We wish you the best this year. Stay healthy, as we like to say during football season.
Absolutely.
Because that matters.
Yes.
That really matters. Adam Miller, this week's guest on First Person, again sponsored by the Ruin Camp Farm Drainage Company in Fort Loramie. Call Phil Barhorst with 80 years of experience, not Phil, but Ruin Camps have 80 years of experience in commercial, residential, and farm work. You got wet fields, they can make water work for you. For Coach Miller and the sponsors, thank you again for your support of high school sports on PressProsMagazine.com. We'll see you again next time with another edition of First Person.